So this video is on dimensional analysis, which is a way to share information between systems when you're doing math problems. Here in the United States, we typically use units such as inches, feet, yards, while the rest of the world and the scientific community use the metric system with meters, centimeters, milliliters, etc. We need to be able to share information between both groups. So for Chapter 1, Section 6, we're going to work on dimensional analysis. On this slide, what we're talking about is how we use the systems when we use conversion factors to determine the correct information. We're going to change from centimeters to inches. You always start with what you know on the left, and then the conversion factor unit that is the same on the bottom next to it. So on this slide, I am showing you how to set up using the multiplication sign. Later on, I will show you a second way to set up your problem with what we call the picket fence. You notice that it's 2.85 centimeters, and the conversion factor between inches and centimeters is for every 1 inch, there's 2.54 centimeters. We also have to be careful to have significant figures. On this slide, I have broken out the steps to setting up the problem. My recommendation is that you put this in your Cornell notes for section 1.6. Again, the first step is to state the given and needed units. Then you need to figure out how are you going to convert to get what you want for your correct answer. Follow steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. On slide 4 here, I'm showing you the conversion factor, also known as the equivalence statement. It just means that depending on what you start with, you will set up your conversion factor to be able to cancel the units. So you notice in what I know, the centimeters, 2.54 centimeters, is on the upper left. To be able to cancel out centimeters, I need to have centimeters on the bottom next to it. Notice on slide 5, we're talking about all of the steps necessary. So if you look on page 19 in your book, they're going to give you all of the steps necessary for figuring out the temperatures. When you convert between Celsius and Fahrenheit, or from Fahrenheit to Kelvin, there are multiple steps that are required. Let's look at this first practice problem I have for us. So a golfer is out on the greens and they're going to make a par with a 22-foot putt. How many inches would this be? So the first step is to put our 22 feet on the upper left. Okay. I'm then going to multiply that with the conversion factor. On the top is going to be what I want to get my answer into. So for every foot there's 12 inches. And on the bottom is going to be 1 foot. I'm going to multiply, and I'm going to take 22 times 12 and get the number 264. I notice that my feet, one is above the line, one is below the line, so those will cancel. So my units will be inches. Now I told you that I would show another way to do this using what we call the picket fence. So I'm going to clean my board here and show you how to do it as a picket fence. When you do that, you don't need to use the equal sign or the multiplication sign. The vertical pickets will show us how to do that. So we will again use, let me get my color here, 22 feet. Okay. Then I'm going to put my picket fence there and show my conversion factor. It's again 12 inches in 1 foot. My feet will cancel again, and then my answer will be the same, 264 inches. So after the overnight storms, the river rose 8 inches. Let's convert this to centimeters. So let's try the picket fence again. We know we have 8 inches. Put our picket fence up. The conversion factor between inches and centimeters, there's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. So then you're going to take your 8 times 2.54, and you're going to get 20.32 centimeters. Now we could make it 8.0, which would give us at least 20, or excuse me, at least 2 significant figures. So then when I multiply out, I'm going to end up in sig figs, the number would be 20 centimeters. Now here are some additional websites that I've looked at and I thought might be a good way to get practice with dimensional analysis.